What if I told you that the way you speak to yourself can change your life? Yes, the words you say to yourself in those quiet moments when no one else is around have the power to shape your reality. It may sound simple, but let me tell you, this is a game changer. For just 3 days, I challenge you to talk to yourself in a way that inspires growth, confidence, and resilience. Speak to yourself like you are your greatest ally, your strongest supporter. Imagine waking up every day telling yourself, I'm capable. I am strong. I can face any challenge that comes my way. Now, this might feel a little odd at first. We're so used to critiquing ourselves, focusing on our flaws, or doubting our potential. But I want you to understand this. The words you say to yourself create your beliefs, and your beliefs will lead to your actions. It's time to stop undermining your potential and start building it with the power of your words. For just 3 days, choose to speak to yourself with compassion and purpose. Say, I am worthy of success. I deserve the opportunities that come my way. When you encounter obstacles, instead of saying, I can't, shift your language to, I haven't figured it out yet, but I will. In those moments of doubt, replace fear with words of hope. I am learning. I am growing. I will improve. This might sound like a small shift, but let me tell you it's monumental. Your thoughts dictate your actions. And for 3 days, you have the chance to rewrite your internal dialogue. Just 3 days of speaking kindly to yourself, of affirming your value, your strength, and your potential. That's all it takes to start shifting the course of your life. But don't stop there. Use these 3 days as the foundation for lasting change. Once you experience the power of this shift, you'll want to continue. You'll realize that this simple practice, talking to yourself like you truly believe in your own greatness, isn't just a habit. It's a lifestyle. So, I challenge you, commit to this for 3 days. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement, kindness, and belief you would give to a friend or loved one. Let this practice become a part of who you are. After all, you are the one who holds the power to change your future. If you can change the way you speak to yourself for just 3 days, I promise you, you will begin to see a transformation. You will begin to believe in your own potential. And that, my friends, is the beginning of something truly remarkable. The power of self-talk is one of the most overlooked yet significant influences in our lives. It is often said that our external reality is shaped by what's inside, and that's exactly where self-talk comes into play. The words we speak to ourselves, whether consciously or unconsciously, directly impact our beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. This inner dialogue, which takes place in the privacy of our minds, holds the potential to either lift us up or drag us down. It can become a driving force for success, motivation, and positivity, or it can quietly reinforce negative thought patterns, self-doubt, and fear. In a world where we are often surrounded by external noise, distractions, and the opinions of others, the way we communicate with ourselves becomes a critical source of empowerment. Think about it. How often do you question yourself? How often do you tell yourself that you can't do something, or that you're not good enough? Or maybe you find yourself focusing on your mistakes rather than your strengths. These thoughts are not neutral. They carry weight and influence the way we show up in the world. The truth is, self-talk is not just a passing thought. It's a conversation we have with ourselves every single day. Every time you make a decision, react to a situation, or plan for the future, Your internal dialogue plays a pivotal role in shaping your actions. Imagine, for example, a scenario where you're about to embark on a new project or take on a challenging task. If your self-talk is filled with doubts, saying things like, "I'm not good enough for this," or "I'll never succeed," what do you think will happen? Most likely, you'll start to feel anxious, overwhelmed, and even paralyzed by fear. This creates a mental block that makes it much harder to take action or persevere through obstacles. On the other hand, when your self-talk is positive, constructive, and empowering, it encourages you to take action. It fuels your self-confidence, strengthens your resolve, and builds a mindset that says, "I've got this." If you consistently affirm your strengths, remind yourself of past successes, and embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, you begin to see the world through a different lens. Rather than shying away from difficulties, you approach them with a sense of readiness and determination. And this shift in mindset doesn't just happen overnight. It is cultivated through the words you choose to speak to yourself daily. Consider the impact of affirmations or positive self-talk on your self-esteem. When you tell yourself, "I am worthy," "I am capable," or "I have everything I need to succeed," you begin to internalize these beliefs. These words start to become your truth, and your actions begin to reflect that belief. It's no longer just a hopeful statement. It becomes a solid foundation that guides your decisions and actions. Over time, this type of self-talk strengthens your resilience, helps you bounce back from setbacks, and keeps you focused on your goals. Conversely, negative self-talk has the opposite effect. It breeds insecurity and self-doubt. It convinces you that you're not good enough, that you'll never achieve your dreams, or that failure is inevitable. It's easy to fall into this pattern, especially when we're faced with criticism, rejection, or failure. But the danger lies in allowing these negative thoughts to dominate. They can become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you believe you're not capable, you may subconsciously avoid opportunities, hold back in difficult situations, or sabotage your own progress. This is how self-talk can shape your life in a limiting way. The power of self-talk is not limited to what you say when things are going well. It's most powerful when things aren't going according to plan. When faced with challenges, it's easy to fall into the trap of negative thinking, to focus on all the reasons why things won't work out. But this is where you have the most opportunity for growth. The way you speak to yourself during tough times will determine whether you rise or fall. If you tell yourself, "This is hard, but I can learn from it," or "I may have failed, but I am not a failure," you open the door to perseverance and eventual success. The way you speak to yourself shapes your approach to every situation, good or bad, and ultimately dictates your ability to move forward. In short, self-talk is a powerful tool. It shapes our self-image, our beliefs, and our actions. By becoming more aware of the words we use to describe ourselves and our abilities, we can shift the direction of our lives. Positive self-talk nurtures a mindset of growth, confidence, and resilience, while negative self-talk keeps us stuck in a cycle of fear, doubt, and missed opportunities. The good news is you have the power to control this inner dialogue. By choosing words that uplift, encourage, and empower you, you can unlock a new level of self-belief that propels you toward success. So pay attention to how you talk to yourself. And remember that the words you speak have the power to create the life you desire. Transformation through repetition is one of the most powerful tools at our disposal for personal growth and self-improvement. The idea that small, consistent actions can lead to profound change is both simple and revolutionary. Many of us tend to overlook the significance of repetition, often believing that meaningful progress requires grand gestures or instant results. However, the truth is that lasting transformation comes from the consistent application of small, intentional steps over time. When it comes to changing the way we think and behave, repetition becomes the key to rewiring our minds and creating new, empowering habits. Repetition has an extraordinary way of shaping our thoughts, behaviors, and belief systems. It's how we learn new skills, how we form habits, and how we create lasting change. Think about how you learn to ride a bike, tie your shoes, or speak your first words. None of these skills came from doing something once. They were the result of continuous practice and repetition. Over time, your mind and body became so familiar with these actions that they became automatic, ingrained in your neural pathways. The same principle applies to any area of life where you want to improve or transform yourself. Whether it's building confidence, developing new skills, or changing your mindset, repetition is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. When it comes to changing the way you speak to yourself, a few days of positive self-talk can be a powerful starting point. However, it's not the 3 days of change that will lead to lasting transformation. It's the repetition of this new way of thinking that will solidify these changes in your mind. The initial steps are important, but the true power comes in the consistency of repeating this new dialogue every day. This idea of transformation through repetition applies not just to self-talk, but to all areas of personal growth. If you want to develop a habit of exercise, for instance, you may not see the immediate benefits after a single workout. But if you repeat the action day after day, your body will grow stronger and your mindset will adjust to embrace a more active lifestyle. The same is true for any goal you set. Whether you're working on building relationships, advancing your career, or improving your financial habits, repetition is what creates momentum. The actions you take consistently, no matter how small, add up over time to create substantial progress. One of the most significant ways repetition leads to transformation is by building a sense of confidence and self-trust. When you repeat positive behaviors or affirmations, you reinforce the belief that you can achieve the change you desire. For example, if you commit to speaking kindly to yourself every day for just 3 days and you follow through, you begin to prove to yourself that you are capable of making lasting changes. This builds a sense of self-efficacy, the belief that you are in control of your own growth and success. As you continue to repeat the process, your confidence grows and you start to internalize the belief that transformation is possible. But repetition isn't just about the actions you take. It's also about the mindset you cultivate. By repeating empowering thoughts and behaviors, you not only strengthen your ability to achieve your goals, but also reprogram your subconscious mind. This shift in mindset leads to more effective decision-making, greater resilience in the face of setbacks, and an increased ability to stay focused on your long-term vision. The more you repeat the behaviors and thoughts that align with your goals, the more they become ingrained in your subconscious. Eventually, these positive habits become second nature, and you no longer have to consciously force yourself to engage in them. They become an automatic part of who you are. Repetition also plays a crucial role in building momentum. At first, you might not see immediate results, and it can be tempting to give up or question whether your efforts are making a difference. However, By continuing to repeat the actions that align with your goals, you build momentum that will eventually carry you forward, even when things get difficult. Momentum is a powerful force, and it's created through the consistent application of effort, no matter how small. Once you've established a pattern of positive repetition, the process becomes easier, and the results begin to compound. When you commit to repeating empowering behaviors and thoughts, you're not just creating temporary change. You are embedding new, healthier patterns into your daily life. This process of transformation through repetition requires patience, consistency, and commitment. But the rewards are worth it. Over time, the things that once seemed difficult or out of reach become part of who you are. The habits you've repeated begin to shape your identity, and your reality starts to reflect the new, empowered version of yourself that you've created. In conclusion, transformation through repetition is one of the most effective ways to change your life. It's through the consistent, repeated actions and thoughts that we build new habits, change our mindsets, and achieve lasting results. Whether it's changing the way you talk to yourself, working toward a goal, or developing a new skill, repetition is the key to making those changes stick. So start today, commit to the process of repeating the behaviors and thoughts that align with your desired transformation. With time and consistency, you'll see the results you've been working toward, and you will become the person you were always meant to be. The importance of consistency in self-talk is often underestimated, yet it is a cornerstone of lasting personal growth and success. When we think about the idea of changing ourselves or our circumstances, many of us focus on short bursts of effort or moments of inspiration. However, real change happens when we commit to doing something consistently, day in and day out. Self-talk is no different. To truly transform your mindset and the way you view yourself, it's crucial to be consistent in the way you speak to yourself, especially during moments of struggle, uncertainty, or doubt. Consistency in self-talk means that you consciously choose to speak positively, encouragingly, and compassionately to yourself, regardless of what external circumstances may be. It's easy to talk positively when everything is going smoothly. When you're feeling confident, motivated, and successful, it's natural to affirm your strengths and abilities. But the true power of self-talk lies in your ability to remain consistent with your inner dialogue during difficult times when things aren't going as planned, when you face setbacks, or when you feel overwhelmed by challenges. It's during these moments, when life feels heavy and your confidence may falter, that your consistent self-talk becomes the most powerful tool you have for navigating through adversity. When things go wrong, many people automatically default to negative self-talk, thinking thoughts like, "I can't do this," "I'll never succeed," or "I'm not good enough." This kind of self-talk can be paralyzing and reinforce a negative mindset, making it even harder to get back on track. The key is to stop that cycle before it begins. By consistently choosing to speak to yourself with kindness, patience, and encouragement, you can break free from these patterns and maintain a more balanced, positive outlook on life. Consistency in self-talk doesn't mean that you're never going to feel doubt or experience negative emotions. It means that even when you do, you don't allow those feelings to define you. It's okay to feel frustrated or disappointed, but you must remain consistent in reminding yourself of your worth and your ability to overcome difficulties. For example, when you fail or make a mistake, your consistent self-talk could be, "This is a learning opportunity. I will improve, and I will try again." It might feel unnatural at first, especially if you're used to being harsh with yourself, but with time, This positive dialogue will become second nature. One of the greatest benefits of consistent self-talk is that it begins to rewire your brain. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, and they respond to the thoughts and words we feed them. If you constantly speak negatively to yourself, your brain begins to reinforce those negative thoughts and beliefs. Over time, this can affect your self-esteem, confidence, and overall sense of worth. However, by consistently choosing to speak positively, you help to rewire your brain in a way that strengthens your resilience, boosts your self-confidence, and builds your emotional well-being. The more you practice positive self-talk, the more natural it becomes, and the more it shapes your behavior and mindset. Consistency also helps to create a sense of trust within yourself. When you're consistent with your self-talk, you build an internal dialogue that supports your growth, even in the face of difficulty. This trust is crucial when facing setbacks or challenges. Instead of panicking or losing faith, you can rely on the consistency of your positive self-talk to pull you through tough times. This consistency serves as a steady anchor, reminding you that you are capable, you are resilient, and that you will find a way to overcome the obstacles in front of you. Another key aspect of consistency in self-talk is that it reinforces your long-term goals and vision. It's easy to lose sight of your goals when the journey gets tough. Challenges, doubts, and external pressures can cloud your focus, but consistent self-talk keeps your eyes fixed on the prize. For instance, if your goal is to become healthier, but you slip up or have a setback, consistent self-talk will help you stay committed to your vision. Instead of thinking, "I messed up, I'll never be able to do this," you could remind yourself, "This is just one setback. I am on the right path, and I will keep going." This kind of consistency helps you stay motivated and focused on the bigger picture, even when things seem difficult in the moment. Consistency in self-talk also promotes a growth mindset. When you consistently affirm that you can learn, improve, and grow, you develop a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities rather than insurmountable obstacles. For example, if you face a challenge that seems overwhelming, your consistent self-talk could remind you that failure is not the end, but simply a step in the process of growth. It encourages you to stay open to learning rather than giving in to fear or frustration. This shift in mindset is powerful because it turns every setback into a stepping stone toward greater success. In conclusion, consistency in self-talk is a powerful tool for personal growth, resilience, and success. It requires intention, practice, and patience. But the rewards are invaluable. When you commit to speaking positively and encouragingly to yourself, even in difficult times, you build a foundation of self-belief, trust, and emotional strength. Consistent self-talk rewires your brain, promotes a growth mindset, and keeps you focused on your long-term goals, even when challenges arise. By making a habit of speaking kindly to yourself every day, you can unlock your full potential and achieve lasting success. The power of self-talk lies not just in the words we speak, but in how those words shape our perceptions, our actions, and ultimately our results. One of the most transformative aspects of self-talk is its ability to influence the decisions we make. Our inner dialogue doesn't merely reflect our circumstances, it shapes how we interpret and react to those circumstances. This means that the way we speak to ourselves can directly impact our ability to take action, make decisions, and ultimately achieve our goals. In moments of uncertainty or doubt, the self-talk we engage in can either propel us forward or hold us back. Often, when faced with a decision, especially one that involves risk or change, Our initial instinct is to focus on the potential dangers, challenges, and obstacles. Negative self-talk can manifest in thoughts like, "What if I fail?" or "This is too risky," which can create hesitation and fear, ultimately stopping us from taking action. This type of thinking can be paralyzing, as it convinces us that the risks are too great or that we're not capable of handling the challenges that may arise. However, by changing the way we talk to ourselves, we can alter the way we approach decision-making. Instead of allowing fear and doubt to dominate our thoughts, we can consciously choose to speak to ourselves with encouragement and a sense of possibility. For example, instead of thinking, "I don't know if I can do this," try shifting your internal dialogue to, "I may not know all the answers, but I am capable of figuring this out." This subtle shift in self-talk can dramatically change how we view challenges and decisions, making them seem less daunting and more manageable. The way we talk to ourselves influences our decision-making process because it directly impacts our mindset. A positive and empowering internal dialogue fosters a mindset of confidence and possibility. When we consistently reinforce the belief that we are capable of overcoming challenges and succeeding, we are more likely to take action, make bold decisions, and pursue opportunities without fear of failure. This shift in mindset is essential because it enables us to take the risks necessary for growth and success. Positive self-talk helps us approach decisions with clarity and purpose. When we speak to ourselves in a way that affirms our worth and ability, we are less likely to be swayed by the opinions of others or be paralyzed by indecision. We become more attuned to our own intuition, our own desires, and our own strengths, which allows us to make choices that align with our true goals and values. This clarity is essential when making decisions, as it helps us to focus on what truly matters, rather than getting bogged down by unnecessary fears or doubts. This process of using self-talk to guide decision-making also plays a key role in building resilience. Life is filled with setbacks and challenges, and we will inevitably face situations where things don't go according to plan. During these times, the way we talk to ourselves can determine whether we bounce back quickly or get stuck in a cycle of frustration and self-blame. If we engage in negative self-talk, we are more likely to dwell on our mistakes, criticize ourselves, and lose confidence in our ability to succeed. On the other hand, if we use positive, solution-oriented self-talk, we are more likely to view setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures. Instead of saying, "I messed up, this is never going to work," we can say, "I encountered a challenge, but I can adjust and try again." This mindset allows us to bounce back from failure more quickly and continue moving forward with renewed determination. The ability to take decisive action is also influenced by how we talk to ourselves. Indecision is often rooted in fear of making the wrong choice, fear of failure, or fear of the unknown. When we speak negatively to ourselves, this fear is amplified, making it harder to take action. However, when we consistently use empowering self-talk, we build the courage to make decisions with confidence, even in the face of uncertainty. Positive self-talk helps us acknowledge that mistakes are a natural part of the process and that the most important thing is not perfection, but progress. This understanding frees us from the fear of making wrong decisions and empowers us to take bold, decisive steps forward. The language we use in our self-talk also plays a significant role in how we approach challenges. When we tell ourselves that a task or decision is impossible or too difficult, we create a mental barrier that can prevent us from even attempting to move forward. But when we tell ourselves, "This may be challenging, but I can handle it," we reframe the challenge as an opportunity for growth. By using language that affirms our ability to overcome obstacles, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and solutions. Furthermore, positive self-talk can help us stay motivated and focused on our goals. Life is filled with distractions, and it's easy to lose sight of what's important. However, when we consistently speak to ourselves in a way that reinforces our commitment to our goals, we remain aligned with our purpose. For example, reminding yourself daily, "I am moving toward my goals, and every step counts," keeps you on track even when you encounter setbacks or distractions. This consistency in self-talk keeps your goals at the forefront of your mind and fuels the persistence needed to continue working toward them. In conclusion, the way we talk to ourselves has a profound impact on our ability to make decisions, take action, and ultimately create the life we desire. Positive. Empowering self-talk fosters a mindset of confidence, clarity, and resilience, which enables us to approach decisions with purpose and take bold steps toward our goals. By consistently choosing to speak to ourselves in a supportive and encouraging manner, we can transform our approach to decision-making and unlock our full potential. So, when faced with decisions, whether big or small, remember that the words you choose to say to yourself will determine the path you take and the success you achieve